There it is, buddy. Yep. You got a tremendous grip, both on the lure and the glove. Just keep that hand level. So I never wanted, the reason we took our time with that is I don't want to go in there and take the lure away from the bird, force it away from him. I want to treat him fairly. People often ask me, why doesn't the bird get fly away? Because he's always treated fairly, because we're partners. I treat him as an equal. He always gets the reward. I always give. I never just take. So we took our time, and I taught that bird a lesson there, because the lesson that he just learned is that a complete stranger, as long as that person is with me, is there's nothing to fear. So now he gets a reward from someone he's never had a reward from. So he hops him over to you when he's done. Now, when we go out there hunting for real, now we're no longer using the lure. That just gets him in shape for the real hunt. The real hunt involves him catching a real rabbit. So that means we go out into the forest, and the bird follows from above the way he did, but he'll be going from tree to tree. And my job is to work for the bird on the ground. Basically, I have to chase the prey out of hiding, because their eyesight is very good, but they're not going to see something if it's holding perfectly still. They tend to see motion first. So my job is to make the prey move. I have to flush it out so the bird can chase it and catch it. And that's why he follows me wherever I go. He knows that I'm working for him on the ground. Now that can be a difficult job. So I have some partners that help me do that job. They work for the bird on the ground. And I want to bring them out here and introduce you to you just to show you how two very different types of animals can be trained to work together. These two. Kitty, right here. I'm grabbing you before you take off. Okay, good boy. Raven? Come on, Ray. Hey! Come on, Ray. Good girl. We got to keep our eyes on them, because believe it or not, these are hardcore little hunting dogs. And they'll run a couple of laps around this circle, but then they're going to say, okay, where are the rabbits? And they're going to take off for the tree line. Because what they live to do is hunt rabbits. Now, let me try to make this simple. Raise your hand if you have a dog at home. Okay. Well, simple. We all know dogs are big, wonderful pets because they're very social creatures, they're very intelligent, they're loving in nature, and so forth and so on. And they've been around through civilization for a very long time. And there are so many different breeds from all around the world. But what a lot of people don't realize is that, a lot of these dogs weren't bred to be pets. They were bred to be working dogs long ago, specifically to do a job. They had a job, they had work to do. There's all kinds of dogs that we use today. We still have working dogs, police dogs, military dogs, seeing eye dogs for the blind, therapy dogs, all kinds of hunting dogs. Believe it or not, these two little characters are hard-working hunting dogs. They're called miniature Dachshunds. Dachshund is a German breed. Their breed began over 400 years ago in Germany to hunt game on and underground. And they are in the hound family, like a bloodhound. So they have an excellent nose for tracking and trailing scent on the ground. Their noses are so good, people have trained dachshunds like this to find lost hikers in the wilderness using tracks of clothing for scent. These two little characters, along with a few others we have, you want to visit them, you can see them up there, but there's no way I was letting 5 dogs run out into the circle at one time, Hey, so their job is to use that nose to find and follow the scent of a rabbit, and they are very good at it. They will follow that scent. Their little body allows them to go wherever that game might be hiding, chase it out so that the hawk can catch it. Now I socialize and I train the bird and the dog together at home, so the hawk is figuring out what the dog is doing. And when we get out into the woods, he learns very quickly exactly what that dog is for. And that bird will actually leave me and follow the dogs. I could stand in a field like this and I could watch that bird work that tree line from tree to tree, and I know that the dogs are directly underneath him. They're working as a team to catch that rabbit. So it's a pretty amazing thing to see. Next bird. Next bird's going to be a falcon. Now this is where things get really different, because we learned about how the hawks catch a lot of rodents and mammals on the ground and so forth, and they are opportunistic. Falcons are much more specialized. Falcons, for the most part, with very few exceptions, do not live in the forest. They do not catch rodents on the ground. Falcons live in the wide open spaces, and they hunt from high in the sky. Their job is to control birds in nature. They eat probably 95% birds in their diet. So they are designed differently. The Creator designed them for speed from above, not for maneuvering through the trees. They cannot maneuver and change direction very well. This is a very challenging area to fly a falcon because of all the tension, the poles, and the lines. It's actually semi-dangerous. There's a little risk involved, but he is a professional. He's flown in many different areas. He tends to know what to look for. So we're going to give him a shot and see what he can do here. He'll sometimes get a little frustrated and land on a pole or on a barn. Way out in the open with no perches and nothing to get in his way, I would encourage him to stay in the air, like an aerobic workout. Rather than moving from place to place like the hawk, I want him to stay in the air and chase this lure. Now this lure is a bird lure, okay? Same concept. Exercise for the falcon, different kind of exercise for a different kind of bird. I swing the lure around and around, encourage the bird to chase it. When he comes at me, I throw the lure out to the bird. I get it as close to him as possible without actually letting him catch it. I want him to think he can catch it. But if I pull it away, he'll go speeding by and make a loop and come back, and I want him to chase it over and over again. This is an aerobic workout, like a runner who does laps. He's doing his laps in the sky. Okay, we're gonna use that as an example. You're the falcon, okay? I'm gonna throw this lure to you, and I want you to catch it with both hands. Ready? Okay. I throw it out there and I pull it away. All right. Now you're coming again. Again, you come back. I throw it out. I pull it away. And again, we do it again, and I pull it away. And sometimes I can even hide it behind my back, and the falcon might pause above me and fold into a vertical dive like he would catching a bird. I allow him to knock the lure to the ground and return to it for his reward. Everything about the falcon is different from the hawk. They don't have that long tail for maneuverability. They don't have those rounded wings for soaring and gliding. Everything about them is aerodynamic and built for speed. Ironically enough, the big movie in the theaters is Top Gun. Well, these birds are the top guns of the bird world. As a matter of fact, scientists who were building the latest generations of fighter jets actually went to museums and studied the skins, the bodies of the falcons to apply the physics to the building of the plane. So it's no coincidence that the falcon looks a little bit like an F-16. And I'm going to tell you his name as well. And when the time is right, I'm going to count to 3. When I get to 3, everybody shout his name, please, as loudly as you can. We'll let him test his lure and be rewarded. His name is Daredevil. Okay, put him up. You can get him going here. Now that's an Arctic species of falcon, so he looks a little different than something you might see in our area. There aren't that many species of falcon around. We have kestrels in this area, which are very tiny. Little birds, colorful like songbirds. There are merlins, which are slightly larger. And there are peregrine falcons. We have a peregrine with us, but he's very much a beginner. He's still in early training. This is a gyrfalcon. It's an Arctic species. They live north of us in places like Canada and Alaska. That's why he's much whiter in color to blend into the snow and the ice of his Arctic tundra. But they live all around the world north of the Arctic Circle in some very cold habitats, places like Siberia. So he's not a big fan of summertime. Luckily it's not 90 degrees today. He'd much rather it was 0 degrees and a 40-mile-an-hour wind than a still day with raindrops coming down. But we'll see if we can get him to give us a little work. And he flaps his wings much faster than the hawk because he has to, because they are narrow. They're built for a dive. They're not built for just cruising around. What they like to do typically, well, let me put it to you this way. In the sky above us are peregrine falcons hunting right now. We just can't see them, because one of their techniques is to go as high as they can and disappear from sight. Now, we can't see them up there, but from up there, with their powerful eyesight, they can see for miles below in all directions. And when they see a bird, any kind of bird, especially in an area like this, a pigeon, a dove, something flies out over the treetops, that falcon looks down, picks out that moving target, folds its wings, and comes down in a high-speed dive called a stoop to catch that bird out of the air. The peregrine falcons are the fastest of all, and they're also the fastest creatures on planet Earth. They've been clocking speeds of over 200 miles an hour in a dive. Let's see if the swallows go after him. They went after him yesterday, too. They're bold little birds, but they're smart enough to know that if they stay above the falcon and behind him, when they swoop down, he won't be able to catch him. Hup, hup! Let's go! We're waiting on you. Now the swallows are going to have some fun. Hup, hup! So I'm asking him to stay focused on the lure when those little feathered bullets are coming at his head. I think he'll be just fine. Hup! Come on, buddy. Hup! So it's no coincidence if you look at those swallows, they're actually basically the same shape as the falcon. Very pointed wings, built to speed. They're just so tiny that they can maneuver and turn much quicker than the falcon can. That's why they're fairly safe when they go after the bird. What I'd like to do is get him to go out and come back high. But with this still air and these little birds, I don't know that he's going to do it. I'm going to see if I can pull him over in this direction. Okay, we're going to try a little trick here. What we're going to do is we're going to call him off the plane. Here he comes. He didn't wait that time. Good. Watch out for that umbrella. Okay, his name is Daredevil on 3, okay? He's going up now, so this is what we want to see. Daredevil on 3. 1, 2, 3. Daredevil! The lure's a little slick from the rain, and he'll hit it so fast you can't hold on to it. So he stopped right there. Some of you might be able to see him. He'll be back shortly. Hup, hup! Hup! Daredevil, hup! Right here, buddy. Easy target. Yay! Everybody, I'm honored to be here today, truly. I appreciate your attention and your respect around the birds. Feel free to stop up and visit, ask questions, check out some of the other birds. We'll be doing a show again later on today. Have a great afternoon, everybody.